I'm Ashley Lynn Paretsky versus Jared Wesley Paretsky. This is the plaintiff's motion regarding legal custody and support. Plaintiff is present, defendant is present, and pro se. Would you both please raise your right hand?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Thank you. Ms. Paretsky, what are you requesting and why are you requesting it, please?
So I'm here in regards to the motion that I filed for child support reevaluation and custody. I would like that addressed today, please.
Okay. Let's begin with child support. What are you requesting?
Guys, buckle up, because what you're about to witness is the opening of a real courtroom battle, where emotions and truth collide head-on as the judge calls the parties to order. You can already feel the tension rising. Ashley steps forward calm but visibly strained, while Jared stands silent. This isn't just another case. This is about two parents fighting for what they believe is right for their kids the moment they raise their hands to swear the truth sets the tone for everything that's about to unfold next.
May I read what I wrote? So I
Sure.
don't
This
forget.
is your opportunity to speak to the court.
We've been here several times since our divorce in 2017. Nothing has changed. Not one thing. He will not communicate with me still. In fact, it's gotten worse. The defendant has not communicated with me since August of 2024. I have tried to communicate with him regarding the kids, anywhere from medical issues, school issues, and most importantly, general parenting issues. He doesn't seem to care about medical issues or school issues. He doesn't go to doctor's appointments or parent-teacher conferences at school. The last time we were here was because he would not agree to help pay for our daughter's orthodontics, and he did not show up for the ruling. Our son was struggling in school, and it was addressed in a doctor's appointment. I communicated this to the defendant and received no response. Our son was also not following school phone policy. I was not aware of this until I got a call from the principal that he received his third phone infraction, and it is going to be taken away for the remainder of the school year. I found out in that phone conversation that the defendant was called regarding the second phone infraction, and he had to go to the school to retrieve the phone. This information was not relayed to me by the defendant at all. In closing, I got divorced 8 years ago, on May 17th, 2017. I've approached the front of the court and your honor several times. I've emailed the front of the court several times. Unfortunately, all the things he has been told to do haven't been done. Today, I'm asking for the court to make a decision regarding the motion. I have been complying with all the court's decisions, but the defendant doesn't seem to think that he must do the same because there are no consequences. Overall, I'm just strained. I have been trying to co-parent effectively to no avail, and it's just not fair to the kids. I want them to be kids. I don't want them to have to deal with adults.
Now the courtroom shifts as Ashley takes the floor and pours out years of frustration. She recounts the silence-broken communication and the father's absence in key moments, from medical appointments to school issues. Her words strike deep because this isn't anger. It's exhaustion. After years of trying to co-parent alone, every example she shares paints a picture of a mother trying to hold everything together while the other side remains distant. This is where the heart of the case begins to take shape.
Issues or situations. That's why I'm asking for full custody and review of child support, including shared expenses of car insurance and extracurricular and or school-related activities. I am also asking that communication be addressed as well. I appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you explain why you're requesting a child support evaluation? I read the motion, but I just want to hear.
Yeah, he has a new job now.
Okay. When do you believe he obtained?
Ashley closes her statement. You can sense the emotional weight in every word when she says she just wants her kids to be kids. It hits hard. This isn't about revenge or control. It's about peace and stability for the children she's drained, and the courtroom feels that truth in full. Her request for full custody isn't cold or calculated. It's a plea born from repeated disappointment. a moment of vulnerability that sets up everything that's about to come.
New employment.
Probably a year ago, maybe.
Year.
Maybe. I'm not really sure.
Anything else regarding either motion?
Just basically the communication. Our oldest son, he's gonna be turning 16 next week. I do want to address insurance being split 50-50. If we can.
You put in your motion, I am open to no child support being paid if all extracurricular school-related expenses and any other agreed upon expenses are split equally.
Correct.
And you still stand by that?
Yes. As long as we do it 50-50.
Okay. All right. Mr. Bresky, your response.
Well, in the start of 2017, I had to pay child support of $240 a month.
Father finally speaks, and the tone changes immediately. Jared begins with a story of hardship recounting lost jobs, a car accident, and his own sacrifices. You can sense his frustration boiling beneath the surface. He wants to prove he's been doing his part, that he's not the careless man Ashley describes, but his words reveal pain and defensiveness more than clarity. This is the start of his emotional unraveling as he tries to shift the blame towards circumstances and away from himself.
Because it was based off of my overtime. I asked the friend of the court, Ashley, and you, Your Honor, if we could go up 40 hours, and all three was denied. In 2020, I lost my job at Thumb Tool and started working at C-Star. In the June of 2020, Ashley ran a stop sign putting all three kids in 3 different hospitals, and she was in a 4th. I had to quit Z-Star to take care of my kids because both boys couldn't walk. I had to take them to follow-up appointments at early medical and the view of them. I did not take her to court for any of that. In that summer, I bought my oldest.
Why would you take her to court for a terrible accident?
Because it's medical expense. I had to quit my job. I was still paying her $240 a month when I had no job. I didn't do an income review or nothing.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
So in 2020, I bought my son a truck because he turned 16. Because he didn't feel safe driving in anything else. So in 2021, I suggested to Ashley that she could pay for the plate for the truck because my oldest son was driving her around because she lost her license for a year. And her response was, "It's not my truck." And she helped very little with the insurance. So in 2022, we had court over extracurricular activities, and it was granted that I had to pay what she wanted, which was not in my divorce papers.
Jared accuses Ashley of using the kids against him. He recalls birthdays, missed disagreements over simple things, and the constant feeling of being shut out. The frustration in his voice isn't quiet or careful, it's raw. He's trying to be heard, but his defensiveness drowns out reason. This is the kind of courtroom moment where emotion outweighs strategy, and you start to see the cracks that will shape how the judge.
Also in 2022, I did not have my kids on Father's Day weekend because she planned vacation time and friend of the court granted her the vacation. So I knew she made more money and I was tired of Ashley getting favored. So I did an income review and she was suggested paying $190 a month, but you lowered it to $50 and looked at her and said, "That's the best you can do." So with my son turning 16 next week, I have a 2011 F-150 sitting in my driveway that is not being drove. So I made him a deal that he could work and pay me a little bit of money and he could save the rest of his money the rest of the summer. So he thought about it for a while and he agreed that that's what we would do. But his mother said, no, he cannot drive that truck. So now he's going up this weekend and buying a truck to put in her name. And the reason why Preston stayed at her house most of the summer is because he worked at Bird Creek Golf Course, which was literally 2 miles from her house. My parents live 1 mile from her. My grandma lives 2 miles from her. And my oldest son, which is 20, lived at her house. And he also works at the golf course. And he made quite a bit of money last year working. There's so many businesses out here that complain that kids don't want to work. And he worked his butt off all summer, and now she wants to use this against me. And she has dates written in there on how.
This section turns into a verbal tug of war about braces payments and old court orders. Both parents claim to be right, but what's really on display is years of unresolved anger. The judge tries to keep order, but every response adds fuel to the fire. Jared's insistence that things were unfair and Ashley's quiet firmness make it clear this isn't just about money, it's about respect and responsibility, and the deeper truth of who really prioritizes.
My daughter was at her house. The first day is in July 13th, correct?
Which date are you referring to again?
July 13th.
In the motion you're talking about?
Yes, it's in the paperwork.
July 13th, yes. Listen here.
That is my daughter's birthday. And in the court papers, that is her weekend to have her. It was her time with the child's birthday. So she just uses these kids against me any way she can. So my daughter and I got into going to Owen Speedway, and 2 weeks before that, she wanted to go on her birthday because it was kids' night. She asked me to take her. So I said, well, you're with your mother, so we have to talk to her. And Carly said, yeah, right, that's not going to happen. So it was like playing a guessing game with Ashley on what time I could pick Carly up to take her to the races. And it got to the point of, you just tell my daughter that I'm not taking her because you're being this way. It's just, I'm to the point, there is no co-parenting with her.
This point, the judge starts digging deeper, questioning Jared's choices and lack of communication. The power dynamic shifts. The father who began confident now appears cornered. The courtroom grows quiet as every question exposes another detail. He failed to report. His excuses start to fade and the tone changes from defense to accountability. It's a subtle but defining moment where the judge's patience begins to wear thin and the outcome starts to come into focus.
So what's the point of talking to her? Just like this braces issues. I told her numerous times I could not afford it. Why can't we wait 2 years to when I can financially afford this? But she refused to listen to me, brought me to court twice because it's in my divorce papers and you granted it. Now, and then you garnished my wages. I even talked to the lady that called me for a payment plan, and I asked her what would happen if we waited 2 years. Carly never even seen that dentist for her to tell me what happened if we waited 2 years or a year. She was never there. The day she showed up is the day they put the braces on. And she called me back after that first appointment and said there's nothing they could do because she had an order to put the braces on.
Court didn't order the braces to be put on. The court ordered that you were to pay half the expense.
Well, it was granted.
The order to pay half the expense was granted.
Yes.
The court didn't say, go get the braces.
Okay, my apology, I worded that.
Well, I want to make that clear. I mean, the court doesn't go that far.
I don't understand why at 12 years old she could not wait a year or two to get braces. Her teeth did not affect her every day-to-day life. I understand they were crooked. I had crooked teeth.
Now frustration has taken full control. Jared interrupts, argues, and lashes out as the judge tries to reason with him. The emotional storm hits its peak. He insists that the system is against him, that the mother always wins. But every outburst only reinforces the picture of a man losing control. This is where the case shifts from argument to consequence, and everyone watching knows something big is about to drop in the final decision ahead.
Also, she never once complained about her teeth hurting her.
Okay. How do you respond to the lack of communication since Mr. Retzke alleges that since August of 2024, that was the last communication you had with her?
What's the point of talking to her? She just comes here and get whatever she wants.
That's not always true, sir.
Yes, it is. Every case. There's cases that I try to talk to, you cut me off. Just like the instance the first time she brought me here. I tried to tell you I couldn't afford it, and you cut me off and told me to figure it out.
Well, when it comes to prior orders, if there's an order that's agreed to, the court doesn't look at whether you have money or not. If there's an order entered, the parties agree to it, the court enforces the order. That's all the court does. It's not a matter of, well, I agreed to this in 2017.
I never disagreed not to pay the.
Okay, you interrupted the court, sir. But, for instance, in 2017, the order says the parties shall be equally responsible for all school-related expenses, including extracurricular activities and sports-related expenses.
That is
For
not
not being
2017, that's 16. That's again, you're not going off my divorce papers.
I'm reading off the judgment. But regardless, at the end of the day, there's nothing here that says, for instance, based upon income of parties. It doesn't say that. Now, when it comes to the 17 order, May 17, you have joint legal custody, correct?
Correct.
And with joint legal custody, that means you agree to make decisions together in the best interest of your children.
I never once said I would not pay for braces.
Okay,
And I was not disagreeing that she did not need them.
okay. But if you both disagree, if you disagree with something like that, you can bring it to the court's attention and the court can decide.
Try to. You cut me off.
You're cutting me off, sir. I'm being respectful. I'm not saying you're being disrespectful. I can see the frustration. But if you're not communicating with each other, what's the court to do? If it's an issue regarding the discipline in school for an alleged phone incident or anything like that, if you're not communicating with each other, how is that working out for your children?
She was notified the first time. I wasn't notified. You understand? Do you see how this works? She just sits there and
Oh,
points.
I see how this works. I see how this works. I do. Did you get a new job, sir?
Yes, I did.
Congratulations. When did you start?
I don't recall the actual date, but it was.
6 months ago?
Oh, it's getting close to a year.
Okay. Have you notified the friend of the court of that job?
I know I did not notify them, but they know. I mean, you're garnishing my wages for braces,
Right.
so how do they not know?
Well, I don't see the friend of the court file. I'm not allowed to see the friend of the court file. But any change of address or appointment must be reported to the friend of the court. But clearly, they obviously know. All right, this is what the court's going to do. Regarding the child support evaluation, there is a change in circumstance. Father has changed employment. So the court will order a friend of the court investigation relative to support only. As to legal custody in this matter, Father acknowledges that in August 2024, he stopped communicating with mother. And there's an issue regarding medical decisions, school decisions, general parenting issues. Court finds that there's a change in circumstance regarding that as well. Parties share joint legal custody. With father's lack of responding, because he admits it since August of 2024, and I can understand the frustration though. There's no communication. If there's a medical issue that arises at the last second and mom reaches out to dad, God forbid the child gets injured, and mom reaches out to dad and says, hey, look, we've got to get treatment for the child, and if dad's not responding, they technically can't provide medical treatment to the child because you have to have authority to do so. This has been ongoing for a long time since the judgment of divorce has been entered. Court finds based upon that there's clearly a change in circumstance since the entry of the last custody order. These conditions surrounding custody of the child, whichever could have a significant effect on the child's well-being, have materially changed. Father, again, has not had communication since August of 2024. The request is regarding legal custody. There is no, as far as the court's concerned, there's an established custodial environment with both parents. Regardless of that, there is no change in request for custodial time. As a result, the court is going to apply the preponderance of the evidence standard. And though the court doesn't have all the factors involved, I mean, I don't question both parents loving and caring for their children and the capacity to provide that. But when it comes to the communication aspect of this, which is a serious component relative to that, there's been a complete breakdown, and the communication aspect clearly favors mother. The parties have the capacity and disposition to provide the children with love, affection, and guidance, as well as food, clothing, or other medical care. No issues that the court is aware of relative to the care in each respective home. But the significant factor for the court to consider is the inability of the parties to communicate when it is offered. As a result, the court is going to order in this case, beside the front of the court investigation relative to parenting time, I am awarding sole legal custody to mother for the remaining children.
So I'm losing my kids over this.
No, you're not losing your kids. You still have the physical aspect of parenting time. But when it comes to the decision-making regarding medical, education, religion, because you're not communicating with mother.
She doesn't communicate with me all the time either.
Sir, I've made my decision. I've asked for you.
See, here we go, favoring her again. All because her mother worked for you. There's so much conflict of interest. It's ridiculous.
Far from it, sir.
No, it's not.
Well, you can allege it. The court's made its finding. That'll be all.
So what I got to do? Get a lawyer to change this courthouse?
You can file any motion you think.
Finally arrives, and the courtroom falls silent as the judge announces sole legal custody to the mother. Jared's disbelief is instant. He can't believe it's happening. His anger turns to accusation, claiming bias and conflict of interest. But the decision is final. This is the moment where years of tension explode into heartbreak. It's not victory or defeat. It's the tragic result of communication that completely broke down. If you made it this far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.